Welcome. My name is Sean Auckland. I'm the local government program manager at SPEAR, and I'll talk more about what SPEAR is, but it's supporting South Central Partnership for Energy Efficiency as a resource. You're joining us with the Community Efficiency Leadership Coalition webinar series. And today, our focus is diving into the Austin Energy All-Stars program. It's designed to empower sixth grade students with electricity savings and sustainability knowledge. And so Austin Energy is going to be presenting today, and hopefully Austin Independent School District will be able to join us, but they had a family emergency, so we'll see what happens. So we'll give everybody grace with technology, and if there's anything that comes up, please let us know. And I am first going to go ahead and say thanks to our supporters. So again, this is a program hosted by SPEAR, but we're supported by the State Energy Conservation Office and the Houston Advanced Research Center. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Questions are welcome. If you're new to a Zoom platform, there's two ways that you can put out questions. You can use the chat box, which will mean that everyone can view your question, or if you want anonymity, you can use the question answer box, and I will be moderating the questions at the end of the presentation. Presentations will be posted on the SPEAR website. So presentation, the content, the slides. And then there'll also be a survey that'll be provided in a follow-up email within 3 days. And then all ICC CEUs will be emailed out within 3 days. Also, a side note that these presentations are also available on the SPEAR YouTube channel, and we have over 160 educational materials there. Okay, so who is SPEAR? We're one of 6 regional energy efficiency organizations. We're member-based, nonprofit, a 501c3 organization. We have 50 plus members from right across the section of EE industries. And I just want to say thanks again to helping us in furthering energy efficiency. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce both of our presenters. We have Danielle Seals with Austin Energy. She's a graduate from the Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi, and with an MBA in International Management from the University of Technology in Sydney. She's worked with Austin Energy and Conservation for 10 plus years, managing and developing residential programs. And she's also lead in piloting programs from idea to market, and so very successful in increasing program participation of 25% or more for numerous projects and programs. And our other presenter is going to be Anna Escachavera. My apologies for not pronouncing her last name correctly, but she's responsible for promoting energy, water conservation, zero waste, and engaging in the Austin Independent School District staff, community, and to support continuous conservation improvements. And her background is prior experience is 10 years in automation controls, business analysis, and working mostly with construction companies and manufacturing environments. She's an electronic and a computer engineer with an MBA in international project management. So I'm very excited to have both of these fantastic change makers and creators in energy efficiency and moving that forward to present to us today. So I'm going to stop sharing, Danielle, and you can go ahead and share your screen.
So good morning, everyone. I am Danielle Seals with Austin Energy. Excited to speak to you today about our school-based education program called All Stars. So the agenda of what I'd like to cover today is just the concept, design, execution, and the results of our program. But first, Austin Energy has the practice of starting every meeting with a safety moment. Our mission is to safely deliver clean, affordable, reliable energy and excellent customer service. So in that effort, I wanted to share with everyone, in case you weren't aware, there are 2 tax-free holidays coming up, one at the end of April and one at the end of May. I know that the season, everyone in January is thinking about those emergency prep kits, and we've passed that, but I wanted you to take advantage of at least looking at the list and saving a little money if anything happens to be on your list. These are a few examples of what items qualify, but there's quite a large list. So I would encourage everyone to pursue that. Take a moment and prepare. Program concept. So before I go into the details, I wanted to elaborate on the goal. As many people, many utilities try to impact behavioral change, and behavior comes with education. And so our group was trying to figure out, outside of the current materials that we provide our customers in outreach events, or when they're involved in a program, or especially on the website, how to reach customers and really help them connect the dots of their behavior in general and how it impacts their well-being, their environment, and beyond, like all the way to our state, right, to our grid. And behavior in the house, turning off the lights, that's one thing, but also purchase behavior. So the concept of the expense at the cash register related to the expense on the bill. And when we were talking about this internally, we evolved to, well, where does it begin? When do customers start to even learn about electricity? And that brought us to the schools. And there we did a whole evaluation of with the school curriculum in Texas as to when do students start to learn about electricity and the generation and the whole 9 yards. It seemed at the time, I think it still is true, that the education comes in 6th grade and then again in 9th grade. And thinking full circle, where we could get our biggest impression on these students, just think of an impression between a 6th grader and a 9th grader in their ages. So 6th grade, they understand like that they have a role and they are excited to have a bigger role, usually in their family, usually in wherever they are. Like they're fun and young and they're getting smarter and they want to test it out. 9th graders, it's hit or miss. Like there's a lot of other variables involved. And so we decided that 6th grade would be the most appropriate to really try to create a program that helped them thrive, and then the ripple effect of all the adults that impacts. So they learn about electricity, they learn about efficiency, and they learn about their role in our concept. Also, if we can present it right, we are making a great first impression as Austin Energy. We're broadening their horizons about careers and how fun they can be in the utility world and beyond. And it's goodwill. Like anytime that an organization can show up unexpected and make a customer feel better or more empowered, that impact is hard to measure, but you see it in the customer relations. So that was the intent behind this program. It also gave us the opportunity to get on a broader scale with the adults, right? So I'll elaborate more, but when pitching the program, meeting with the administrators, meeting with the different ISDs and all of the schools in our territory that have a 6th grade section, we're there as Austin Energy. So we're talking about this program, but it's also a courtship to say, how is your school? How is your facility? Is it meeting your needs? Would you like an evaluation? And let that conversation grow, and that level of education and awareness. There are so many opportunities with our customers on so many different levels, from personal to corporate to commercial, that when you're just at the table with them, it's just a great opportunity to remind them of what they already know or enlighten them of what they don't. Teachers, same sort of thing. I mean, it's it's like visiting the dentist and being told to floss. Yes, everyone is aware that LED bulbs, that's a simple one, but some of these different products in our home, there's different variables of energy efficiency, and Austin Energy offers a lot of programs to our customers. And so just being in the room with them and sharing the material, it sparks conversation, and that's a whole other level of participation and goodwill on both sides. Parents and guardians, adults, right, on their path doing their thing. I think everyone would raise their hand if I asked who was busy right now. And when it comes to thinking about your electricity, I think the standard customer thinks of electricity 2 minutes a month. That's high. I think that's a high number, and it's when they're paying the bill, right? So having these solutions and recommendations and program opportunities of significant cost savings come into your house, come into the customer's home, through the child who's excited to show tell, and then that marketing material or that educational component becomes a conversation. It becomes a conversation with the kid. It becomes a conversation with the stakeholders in the home, and that material might sit by the computer and could become a future investment that it's a win-win for everyone. It's a win for the customer and a win for the utilities. So being able to market, have an opportunity, and educate on multi levels is a true success of this program. The what? So everyone loves a gift, right? And that's what we wanted the program to be in many ways, from the physical products to the ease to the inspiration. We did a lot of work with looking at state standards, looking at our AISD like curriculum, and really trying to cater the program to align with what their teachers were already teaching, what would make sense to the students, and it just kind of be, if the teacher is interested, then it could be a no-brainer as far as the details. So aligning with the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills standards in Texas, and just providing additional support to the teachers. I'll elaborate later, but we do a lot with introducing the program. They have the opportunity to opt in for additional support, from in-person to extra hard copy material to the internet to a phone call. We wanted to make products that or kits that the students could experience together, and then also to evolve to what they could take home, and what they could take home with confidence and understanding enough to where they could open the box and share everything in it with the people in their home. Like with all programs, you try to do a pre and a post. So that looks like a survey to the students to see that education growth and the gaps where we could perhaps how we can take those results and mold the program to achieve higher results in the future. The kits that go home to the students, as I've kind of lightly touched on, have additional information that's specific for the adults, for the parents and guardians. And I'll elaborate more about that, but it was just, if we're going to do it, how much can we do? How easy can we do it to make it easy on everyone? And then data collection and reporting. All of the kit products have savings that have been validated by our engineers, and then we have installation rates. So I see that there is a chat question. Okay, that's not relevant right now. Okay, so the stakeholders. It's one thing to have a great idea and another thing to actually get it to success, right? I mean, thinking of a cool car versus getting it made and on the road, that's there's a lot to that. And so with almost anything, pitching it to our internal executives and the council, that one was not as much of a challenge as I would expect. I think we just had a clear enough concept and the package to where it's always top of the list to reach our customers. It's always top of the list to really engage with hard to reach customers. And really that, everyone has in mind like what a hard to reach customer is, but it's anyone on the scale from low income to high income. The busy ones who just don't have time to think about this, it's not a priority, regardless of your income. And the ones who don't even know where the switch is. And so it's any efforts that Austin Energy can do to engage and educate and inspire the customer to become more of a participant, it's always at the top of our list. School administration, that was a little more challenging. There was a miscommunication. We did get the program up and going. This is a little out of order. So initially we did meet with the administration and sold the concept with all of our stakeholders in the ISD or in the school realm of our customers. And it was approved at that level. When we actually launched the program, we recognized that we had AISD would our biggest school customer, like that would cover this program. And there was very low participation. And as I looked into it and started having conversations, making some cold calls and then meeting people face to face, we realized there was a huge miscommunication. The concept or the understanding was that someone was going to come into the school and teach the curriculum for 3 to 5 days. And that was red flags everywhere, but most, like a big one, was legal with criminal background investigations. That wasn't our program design. It was just the message that they had received, some of the key stakeholders in that current role. And it took a significant amount of effort to get that very clear and back on track. But the reason I wanted to bring that story up is getting buy-in the first time at one level, and then getting buy-in at when things start to go live at the level that actually opens the door and allows the success to happen. It's so important for everyone to understand the key concepts, the process, and just the overall understanding of what you're offering and what you're doing. And so that stands out. With the teachers have so much on their plate, and it was extremely important to me that they recognized this as a gift, like a point of relief. Initially, we were thinking it would be before or after a holiday, like leading up to Thanksgiving or Christmas, or after a big test, the STAR test and some of these other ones, where teachers and students are just kind of exhausted. And this could be a little 3 to 5 day, something different, something new, something exciting, just to get everyone kind of breath of fresh air and back ready to go. So meeting with them, and I'm not a teacher, so what I want to give them and what they want to receive may or may not line up. And so it was so important to meet with them and to constantly mold the program to what's working for them. So the kits, that's the fun part. We have a lot of guidelines and we have workbooks, but for some reason, it's the kits that get all the attention. With the classroom kits, they are these bulleted items, and it's things that are designed for people to do together, like giving a 6th grade grader an infrared temperature gun to walk around their school and see where the air infiltration is very exciting on multiple levels. A solar powered car, it's a conversation piece. It starts conversations. And so anything to spark excitement in the classroom and to get those dots to start connecting. And then to layer it with the home kit. The home kit has all of these items in it, and they're meant to be installed with the family. And the idea is that the student understands the products, they bring them home, and they open this beautiful box, and they share and show and tell their parents all about, or their guardians, or anyone, about everything, and then install these items where they see fit. Something that has evolved in this program, you'll notice in the student kit, there's some water features. I always do my best to include any of our other organizations within the city of Austin to promote their programs and expand knowledge and understanding for the products and the why these products are important. I don't know if I already mentioned it, but explaining in the classroom, explaining to the kids that you can buy a cheap item at the, I know I mentioned it a little bit, but we do this whole exercise where we use bulbs, and I ask them to go count in their mind how many bulbs they have in their house. And their faces go, silly. But then I'm like, no, I'm not going to go check your house. Just kind of go through, open the door. What's the first light you see? And on average, it's 40 bulbs is the average bulbs in a home. And getting them to think, okay, I can buy a $2 bulb or a $5 bulb at the cash register. And then you'll see in a minute, going through all the exercises and them understanding the impact of the inefficient bulb versus the LED bulb on the electric bill 1 year later or 5 years later, and the savings that they can accrue. And then that's so small and so easy. Now think about all the other products in your home, from your refrigerator to the computer to the TV. Like, there's always the inefficient and the efficient. And if you multiply that out by those same years, just getting them to see the return on investment, like for something very practical, in 10 years, they're going to be graduating. And I always bring it to a car. Like, what if they needed to buy a car and they had an extra $5,000? So we start these conversations to really help the kids expand, like, to use their knowledge in a way that is very real to them, because they are going to become 15, 16, 22, whatever. And, much older. This is the material that is in the student kits. This material changes out annually, but something that's very important if you're wanting a program to succeed is to really understand your customers. Spanish is not the only other language spoke in Austin, and we're fully aware of that. But when we look at the ranking of languages from English to household secondary, like primary language at home that's non-English, Spanish is a significant portion of our customers. In all of my materials from this program to others, it's English on one side and another language on the other. It's almost always Spanish, unless I'm working with a specific community or organization where another language is prevalent. But being able to give people this education, this information, especially about if they do need to purchase something coming up, or they do qualify for weatherization, telling them all day in the wrong language isn't going to get you anywhere. And so it's just something to make the effort to make it a standard practice, to evaluate, to see where your customers are. A lesson learned. We have 6th grade language on all of our marketing material, right? English, that's pretty standard, newspapers and everything, sixth grade language max. I have always translated our other language material. Like I've always had that translation. Only in the last year or two, I've been doing this for quite some time, was I informed that my Spanish was not at sixth grade level. It was actually much higher. So if I can provide this lesson for someone out there, that's a good a good point of reference that I don't know how I looked over that. How? How do we do it? Recruitment is huge and it's more challenging than you would think. So teachers love the program that go through it. Our goal originally was 5,500 participants, and that solely relies on the teacher enrolling their classroom. With the success of the program, we've raised it to 7,500. That's 70% of our entire market in Austin Energy. The way the recruitment goes is in the first 6 weeks of school, there's a few emails, there's a postal mail, there's calls to the science department if needed. There's a whole ranking system as that. Everyone starts out on the same email, and then the strategy changes as needed. The way that a teacher enrolls is rather simple. They follow the website. They basically put their name, the school, and how many kits they want, and what time frame. Time frame is really big. We had lessons learned about that because we do the recruitment early, and for the whole semester, they can't. For someone to receive 30 or 50 kits and store them in September for Thanksgiving break is a burden, and that's not what we're trying to do. So having the material delivered in the time frame the teacher wants, it's easier for everybody. But teachers, they go to different classes, they go to different grades. Many of them evolve to different grades in their career. There's turnover, there's all these variables that teachers may or may not be teaching sixth grade the next year. So the recruitment effort is really steep. It's quite a challenge. And we do some social media and do like a referral program. Like we have many strategies, but that would be one of the biggest challenges. Once the material is ordered, the teacher has an option to do a kickoff presentation. This is our third-party vendor. This is Blue Ocean. Mr. Mars does a presentation in the class, and this is the aha of them. This is a wonderful aha. And we use this bike setup for other events too. So if you need one or if you want to see it, let me know. Basically, we've got a regular bike and it has a generator. The back wheel's on a generator. I should put a picture in there for that. And it's hooked up to the light board. The light board has an incandescent, a CFL, and an LED. The student does the energy, pedals the bike, and anyone can feel the significant difference between an incandescent and an LED. The CFL is a step, but all that to say, when they feel that energy change and they say, aha, and then I say, now multiply that by 40. And for them to understand energy and translate into money and the amount of savings. And then we multiply that out by the other items in their house. And I also bring in electric vehicles and start talking about that. If I elaborate, it's great, but I think I might go over my time limit. So I won't right now, but it's just really good to see the student evolution in their mind of, oh, wait, this really is significantly different. Validation. So these are some of the testimonials. We do the quizzes, we do the surveys. These are from the surveys, these are the installation rates for some of the products. And that's what it's all about. Oh, I have a few more, I'm sorry. This is just for 1 year. The districts that have participated for last year. And the recognition is from the beginning. We launched in 2018. I mentioned the program's grown. Oh, it's 7,500 participants, but it's still 70% of our market. 2019, we were awarded for best practices. And then most recently, there was a white paper done by Questline that is available upon request. And the true results again, right? A lot of the students write thank you letters back. This one didn't have his last name, so I could use that one, but there are some very sweet ones about how it really meant something to them and how they hope that the program gets to go on, and so much gratitude. So the impact to the customer and the young, middle, and old customers are all, we care about them all. And that is basically it for my presentation. It doesn't look like we have any questions, but if you think of any or would like to reach out, please don't hesitate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love the thank you letter. It's really sweet. Anna, if you would go ahead and share your screen.
All right. So I am the Energy Conservation Engagement Foreman for Austin ISD. Please let me know if you are able to see the screen well.
Yes.
I work very closely with the Austin Energy Department. I know Danielle since 2 years ago, pretty much when I started on this position. Before, I used to be the energy conservation specialist, which is associated with the same energy and water management department, but it's more focused in the controls of the buildings, how our HVAC and our lighting works in the AISD. So our energy and water management department work with gas, electricity, water, and wastewater consumption. So we keep an eye on all of these commodities to be working as they are supposed to. And also we are very aware of our impact on the city of Austin as one of their largest customers or the largest customer from the city. And we try to incentivize our students more awareness. We support all sort of educational activities that aim to a better and more efficient usage of these resources, because they have an impact not only in the city, but in the schools themselves and the level of comfort for students and staff, and also the budget of the AISD. So this is in this picture, you can see some of the things that we do, or also you can see part of what we manage, okay? We keep an eye on the equipment, monitor well functioning of equipment for better performance, more energy and water efficiency. We have been focusing in purchasing clean energy. Currently, AISD is the second school district in the country with the largest clean energy purchase. We also, in the third picture, you can see this is the energy manager. You cannot see his face, but he is showing some of our children in some event, in one of our multiple events, the difference between LED efficient lighting and incandescent bulbs. And in the next, you can see an EV charging station. This also part of our partnership with the city of Austin. We provide a clean energy charging, electricity charging for EV vehicles, electrical vehicles across the district. And in the last picture, you are going to see an old picture of myself providing training to our staff to have a better idea of what our department does. Okay, this is our team. Currently, we are accepting applications for an energy conservation specialist. If you know someone that might be interested in applying, and utility conservation technicians. Our team is confirmed in this set up this way because we need people on campuses able to spot situations or opportunities for improvement in energy and water conservation that is done by utility conservation technicians, which also perform energy audits. The energy conservation specialist is the person that is in charge of monitoring from our building automation system, how our schools are performing. The energy conservation engagement foreman, this is my position. I am on charge of make AISD more aware of all the opportunities and all their duties as part of a school district to support sustainability, formally since 2011. And the energy and water manager, who is in charge of the whole department and monitor each one of these part of the activities the department performs. So in energy conservation engagement, we promote energy conservation across all the AISD facilities. We also provide training to staff and students. This can be done whether in regular training for staff is mandatory as part of our regular training before they start duties in AISD, and for students in conjunction with the teachers or the principals once that we have gotten approved in the facilities. And we support initiatives with goals aimed to make our schools more sustainable. So we have plenty of resources that you can look up in our website. One of them is the Energy All-Star programs. Since we work very close with the city of Austin, we have been implementing the Energy All-Star since many years. However, since there is an energy conservation engagement, we have been encouraging all of sixth graders and all our teachers for sixth grade, and also seventh grade when the opportunity is available to join the program and understand better how the city of Austin provides energy and water to all of their customers. Since our students are going to be future customers and they are residents of the city of Austin, we need to make them more aware of the impact their energy and water consumption is going to make in the city. So through the partnership with Austin Energy All-Stars, we support our teachers to educate us creative and conservation measures. The city of Austin provides a very nice kit, including all the material that O'Neill mentioned, and also it provides information for the teachers of how to provide these classes and make it more dynamics for students. This helps us in different ways. This helps us to provide our teachers with material that is easy to understand and more dynamic. They have a lot of interactive activities with the students, and the students can replicate this knowledge at home with their parents and also help them save energy and help the city, because when the demand is under control, the city can provide a better service to the whole community, not just the students, but also the rest of the residents of the city of Austin. It helps our AISD community to understand their impact in energy and water consumption, and help parents and students to evaluate their own energy and water conservation performance at home and save money. So it helps the district and also help educate AISD parents, as mentioned before by Danielle. So socially conscious AISD community makes socially conscious city of Austin residents. This is an example of electricity use reduction in AISD during summer 2023. So what you see in red as the consumption from the summer, mostly we're analyzing summer. We have it's the largest range. It goes from November to May. But the reason that we are aiming to look at the month of May is because AISD implemented a summer energy efficiency program that started in May. And you can see that in the 2021-22 year is the blue band. You can see a higher consumption than the next year. We perceive that there is a higher level of awareness with all this training in place, from which Energy All-Stars is a great protagonist. They really, their program has been implemented with a higher reinforced in the district and more support, since AISD have its own energy management team. And that helped to reduce AISD consumption. And besides that, saved the district $150,000 just in the month of May. So we certainly see that there is value in the program and other energy conservation engagement activities. And this is all I have for you. If you have any questions for me, please feel free.
Thank you guys both. I don't see any questions right now in the chat, but I do have some for you. So no worries. I like to ask our webinar presenters what aspect of your job and this work that you're doing brings you the most joy.
What I enjoy the most? I love people. I love interacting with our AISD community, and the city has been very supportive of us. I love working with Danielle and other members of the Austin Energy team. They are not here in this presentation, like Jeff Walker. The customer service is amazing. Anytime that we need something, we reach to the people from other departments, John Cornett, and they are always very on top of everything. Actually, Austin Energy is always very supportive, not just of this initiative. Energy always starts with this very important, in particular for engagement. Engagement has a lot of challenge. You know, you need to explain people all the time that we don't want them to feel uncomfortable. We just want them to use energy when they need to and save this resource from when they are not using it. Let's say, let's shut down the building when there is nobody in the building. But the most beautiful part is interacting with all the people or the students, see their faces, how you wouldn't when you say, hey, we can still have the same level of comfort using more efficient equipment. The city make it available to you. So I would say it's the people what makes the difference. People are everything in what we do.
Thank you, Anna. What about you, Danielle?
Sorry. I enjoy the enlightenment of a solution, or just to see someone connect the dots. I know I've said that already, but when we have a major event, especially like an unexpected, a natural disaster, or just a big change in weather, and people stay home. And I'm talking to the students about this and tell them that's not the day to do all the laundry. Like, I know that we're home and it seems like a good idea, but the whole reason we're home is because it's dangerous. Like, it's not dangerous. There's just extreme weather, which could shifts the grid spike in demand. And if the demand is high, we educate, like we have a behavioral demand response program that just reminds people, if the weather is 110 degrees and you see a message about it's a high demand day, that don't turn on your dishwasher at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when everyone's coming home and trying to put on their AC, and that's when that true spike is. So just shifting that to before you go to bed, and not doing the accessories out of a point of convenience for personally, but out of like understanding and respect for not only your home well-being, but your community's home well-being. I mean, once somebody understands that, then regardless if they stay here or go anywhere in the world, they're more of a blessing than a burden, and their personal life is empowered. So all of these messages and hands-on experiences, I think that people remember, have true behavioral change when they have an experience. And so to be able to provide this type of program and reach customers in this form of fashion, I'm a very creative person, and I loved the challenge when it was presented, and I love the outcome that we've designed so far, and I'm looking forward to how we can improve it. And this is with schools, but across the board with anything that I get invited to do, it's just exciting to see the result in someone's face about like, I never thought about that, you know, like they already got a load in and they just didn't push the button because we had the conversation. It's just, you know, in the bicycle and all, there's so many examples of just seeing somebody go, oh, yeah, that makes complete sense. It's just a matter of verbalizing it and getting that to become a real behavioral change. So yes, I am constantly amused and enjoy this aspect of my position.
Thanks.
One thing that I wanted to mention about that particular the bicycle, I was in a presentation in Covington, and the children loved how they could turn on the LED light just by pedaling. And that is when you woo the children, like you really can do much more with what you have. You have to understand. I like so much Danielle has in her email. She has a very powerful quote that says, understand your power. That can be interpreted in many ways. Okay, it can be interpreted as you have sometimes so many resources and you are not even aware that you have them. There's so many things that you can do. So that is one thing. And one single tip for the panelists, okay, about what Daniel said is very, very important. Actually, let me talk a little bit about my background. I'm an electrical and computers engineer. When we go home, one way that we can help save energy, by an example, when we do our laundry, but it's better if we're doing at times the demand is known peak. It's cheaper for you and it's better for the city. Let's say in the evenings, you can do the laundry. Of course, try not to do it when everybody have their heat on in a storm or something like that. But one way to save energy is you run first your laundry machine and then you wait until the machine is done and run your dryer. This is one simple way that could help people at their houses to reduce demand, save money. They're going to do the same amount of laundry and they're going to be helping the city. That is a very important one because the voltage is always going to be the same. What increases with more equipment is at the same time increases the usage of current. And that is what raise our demand and our costs in the bill. So it's very important to run one device at a time when possible. So thank you so much to bring that up, Daniel. This one of the examples I use in training for our staff.
And then I wanted to go back to that because sometimes people don't understand when the peak times are. So is that really like, is that 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock? When is that peak time occurring?
There are a few variables. So typically, an easy way to remember is it's when people are coming home from work or school until the sun sets. So 3 to 6.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the variable of like solar and some other things like where it shifts when the sun sets, then a spike comes because the energy use there was an extra source, right? There's also like in the event that we call in, you know, we have a power partner thermostat program, which on the very peak days, we reduce the people's thermostats. We've provided an incentive and they've joined the program and it drops the AC 2 degrees in their home for a small amount of time per hour. And what that does is it helps shave that peak off significantly. And we also have commercial programs. AISD, you know, participates in a lot of our programs, but after you've shaved, you know, if it's a peak and you've shaved this top part, this is really nice, right? You shave the top part off, then there's a spike later that comes up just a little bit. So it's just understanding the general peak, the result of calling an event or shifting some of that need or that use, and then realizing that still needs to, it's still needed, it's still used, so it might spike back up, and just not turning on, like the dishwasher is so easy, and instead of turning it on at 5, if you wait after that, the whole peak and then the spike, which is well easy into before you go to bed. So 9 or 10 o'clock at night. That's a very small thing that, you know, it's a penny in the bucket, and every rich man has a wallet full of a whole bunch of pennies that have added up, right? So it's just every ounce counts. And if multiplying behavior can become rather significant financially and beyond, right? Does that make sense? Did I just go off?
It actually is
Sorry.
very, you know, when people sometimes, let's say they have the light on at their houses, sometimes they're even producing more heat, make it work harder, the same HVAC, and becomes a cycle. So when people have devices that they're not using out, they're having off, they're even helping other equipment to work better. That's something that we have found in our experience at AISD, indeed. So I'm right there with Danielle. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all for going into that a little bit more. I appreciate it. Well, we are at time for our webinar. So I want to thank the both of you for sharing your time and your expertise. And those of you who would like more information about their programs, please feel free to reach out and I can connect you. I have here on my screen, you can contact SPEAR through our cities program, cities@eepartnership.org. And I also have my direct email. And if you all, thanks again for being here. And I hope that you enjoy our next webinar.
Thank you. You guys have a good day, all right?
Have a good one.